Hey, what's up guys? Retro Gaming Guy here. So today in this video, we're going to unbox, demo, and review the AOC AM16 Mini PC right here. We've got some awesome specs on here, which we're going to comb through first and foremost. Then we're going to unbox this, take a look at the layout and design, and of course, test it out with a wide range of games. So let's dive into the specs here before we get started. This Mini PC right here offers an AMD Ryzen 7 5700U processor. That's 8 cores, 16 threads, speeds of up to 4.3 gigahertz. We have AMD Radeon graphics, 32GB DDR4 RAM, and 512GB NVMe SSD installed within, running Windows 11. And we also have 4K triple display capabilities here, meaning that we can get this up and running with 3 different displays at the same time. So let's unbox this and take a closer look at what it offers in terms of layout and design. So right here, you can see that we have our user manual, and if we thumb through this, it's in a bunch of different languages here, and it will walk through how we set this up with different displays, how we connect all of the provided cables. It shows you how you can mount this on the backside of a monitor. So pretty basic information there. Let's go ahead and remove the actual Mini PC. We're going to set that aside for right now, and we're going to actually take a look at the cables and everything that are provided along with this. And then we'll, of course, take a look at the Mini PC much closer. All right, so that is everything out of here. Right here, we have our 2-part power supply. We have our mounting bracket here, screws that we would use in order to secure this in place, but also screws that we could use internally within our Mini PC to make different customizations in there, or to swap things out, reinstall new things, a lot of different options there. And then we have our regular HDMI cable right here, which is provided as well. All right, so here is our Mini PC. You can see the unique design here. I really like the fact that you can actually see that color coming through on the base here, that silver color, and how it kind of tapers off to the for you guys, the right-hand side, for me, the left-hand side. I just think it's a unique design. Looks very cool, very sleek. This is all plastic, so I do want to make mention of that. It's not going to be as durable as some of those all metallic Mini PCs. We have great ventilation, it seems, on both sides, so we're going to definitely check this out and see how this handles cooling. That's definitely something I look to with Mini PCs, especially if you're going to be gaming on them. Now, in terms of the front panel here, we have a Type-C port, which can be used to bring this over to a display, whether you use a monitor or a TV. Over here, we have 2 USB 3 ports. We have an audio jack connection right here, so you can bring our headphones into the mix. And we have a power button over here. Great action on the power button as well. It's a weird thing to comment on, I know, but there's a lot of power buttons out there for Mini PCs that do not perform efficiently. So this is not one of those. Great action on there. It's not sliding, over underneath the edge of the panel or anything like that, like some other options out there for Mini PCs. So I definitely like that. So again, ventilation on both sides. Let's go to the back though. We have ventilation back here as well. 2 USB ports. These are not USB 3. These are just regular USB-A. We have 2 HDMI ports. So with these, you can obviously get this up and running on 2 different displays here. So between the Type-C in the front and the 2 HDMI ports in the back, that's where your triple display capabilities come into play here. Ethernet port over here, and then we have our DC 19-volt power supply port as well, where we'll bring in our power supply cable, which was provided for us. So definitely a nice layout. I would say that my only criticism about this is the 2 USB ports in the back. They're just regular USB-A as opposed to USB 3. That's what we typically see now is USB 3s all over our Mini PCs. So that's definitely something that I would recommend them, just upgrading to USB 3 just to make it a little bit more competitive with some of the other offerings out there. But definitely a nice nice set of graphics here. We also have a great processor. So now if we want to actually open this up, all we have to do is flip this over, and you can see where we have the 2 holes here where we can actually bring in our mounting bracket. But under each of these rubber feet at the bottom here is going to be a screw. And we can actually go ahead and remove these. Now it's a little bit difficult to actually remove these. You have to kind of pry them out. There's a little adhesive under there, but the nice thing is it does stay sticky even after you remove it, so you can just press them back down in place. Just make sure that when you set these down, you do it sticky side up so you don't stick it to something else and lose some of that adhesive. So you can see again, screw right underneath there. So I'm going to remove all 4 of these, and we're going to open this up and see what's waiting for us inside. All right, and to remove this, you just simply lift it up, and there you go. Pops right out. So right off the bat here, easy access to everything. We do have this piece inside here that if we want to gain access to the NVMe SSD underneath, we would have to remove that. There's a screw here, a screw over here, a screw over here, and a screw over here. So 4 screws securing that in place. But we do have our SATA connection right here. It's taped in place. And what's really nice about this is you can go ahead and install an SSD right here. And if you take a look, it's a little bit hard to see because it's black on black, but there's 4 screw holes where you can actually secure your SSD in place. It's a great housing unit right here. So you make your connection, lock your SSD in place, or your hard drive if you want to use a hard drive. You can go ahead and secure that in place here, put the lid back in, and then you can adjust your boot order, or you can use it as just additional storage space, just whatever you want to do here. I can also see that we can make another NVMe connection under here as well. So there's 2 slots for SSDs, one already in there with the 512 SSD, but we can go ahead and use another NVMe under here as well. So you have the ability to really expand upon what is offered here considerably. So I'm definitely loving the fact that it's, first off, easy to access everything. The hardest part is just pulling off these rubber feet at the bottom, which, you know, once you have the right tool, or even if you use a screwdriver like this, you'd be able to do that effectively. But really like what this offers. So I'm going to go ahead, and I'm not bringing in an SSD that way. I'm going to just use my external SSD enclosure today. So I'm just going to sit that down in place, and you can see how easy that was to just put back in place here. We'll go ahead and drop in our 4 screws and then drop back in our rubber feet there so this doesn't slide on our desk. And we'll boot this up, test out a bunch of games, and see what the performance is like on here.
Now that's aggressive pod racing.
All right, guys, we jumped in here today and we checked out the AOC AM16 Mini PC. Now, I really loved what this delivered in terms of performance here, and it far exceeded my personal expectations for this. But before we dive in depth into the performance and the price point here, we're going to talk about the layout and design here, which I'm a big fan of. It is all plastic, as I mentioned before, not going to be as durable as an all metal enclosure for a mini PC, but it is well made. It is very well put together here. And where you can really tell is along the sides where you have the ventilation. Because there's so many holes in there on really cheaply put together mini PCs, you'll have a lot of give on the sides because obviously when you start puncturing holes into the plastic, it's going to compromise the integrity a little bit. That's not the case here. It's a really nicely put together mini PC that is durable, but don't go spiking it off the floor to test out how durable it is. You still have to be careful with it. If you were to drop this from like shoulder height, you're probably going to do some damage to it. So be careful with it, but it is very well put together at the end of the day. Now, port offerings here, I'm a big fan of what it offers on the front panel here. I love the Type-C port. I love the fact that we can use that to bring this up onto a display as well. 2 USB 3 ports. I'm a big fan of USB 3. Audio jack connection right in the front as well. So as a gamer, I have instant access to everything that I need to have readily available for me. Power button right there, obviously very convenient. Now let's go to the back side of our mini PC. So on the back side, we have 2 USB-A ports here, but they're not USB 3. And I think that this, it's not a huge deal. And I don't want to be super picky about this, but a lot of other mini PCs out there on the market are upgrading all the USB-A ports on their mini PCs to USB 3. And I think that's a good way to go here. So I would say in the future models that they put out, they should probably just upgrade everything to USB 3, but these get you by. And for me personally, I connected my keyboard as well as my mouse over to these. So, do I really need USB 3 for those? Probably not, but it's nice to have nonetheless. We have 2 HDMI ports back here as well. So with those paired with the Type-C in front, we can get a triple display setup going here, meaning that we can connect this over to 3 monitors at the exact same time, which is a great capability. For me, I'm typically going to use 2 monitors if I'm, editing videos, or if I'm kind of checking the stock market out and I'm deciding what I want to buy, or, projecting what hopefully things go up to in value. Then I'll use 2 displays because I can obviously do twice as much at the same time. I don't typically personally go to 3 displays, but it's a great option to have on here. We have the Ethernet port. We also have our DC 19-volt power supply connection on the backside as well. So very nicely put together here. The only, hiccup there, even if you'd call it that, it's me mostly being picky, is that we don't have USB 3 ports for the USB-A connections on the backside. Opening this up is very easy to do. A little time consuming because we have to obviously remove the feet on the bottom, which have a really strong adhesive on there, which is good for reapplying them and reinstalling them. But obviously you need to get a little tools just to pry them off when you want to access the screws underneath to open everything up. Once you open everything up though, great access within. You can make your, you can install additional SSDs if you want to, either the NVMe's internally, or go ahead and bring in just a regular SSD or hard drive, and you can mount that to the backside as well. So I really like the customizations here. I like how everything is laid out internally. So really at the end of the day, I'm a big fan of the overall layout and design here. Now, talking about price point, which I think is key for evaluating whether something is a viable option or not. At the time of this video, and I'm going to double check it because prices do fluctuate very often these days, with a current coupon code of $80 on Amazon, it would bring this to, after tax, $445, which is a fair price point when considering the specs on here. There are probably some cheaper options out there if you were to weigh out, the different promos and stuff like that on Amazon, but this is a very well put together mini PC, and I think at that price point, it is fair. I won't say that it's, the cheapest option out there, but it is very fair for what you get here. Now, talking about performance, that's going to really prove that it's a fair price point. So we jumped into emulation and we had a great experience. This can handle just about everything that you would dive into with emulation. Obviously, you're going to have limitations with emulators themselves. So like with PS3, for example, not every title is going to emulate well, but this does keep up with where everything should be falling in terms of emulation capabilities. So we had a good experience with Retro on here, and I wanted to kick it up to AAA titles, and we did. And I was very surprised to see that we really didn't have any issues with AAA titles. Every now and then you'll see like a little stutter or like a little minor glitch, but it does not ruin the experience here at all. I jumped into Tekken 7. I jumped into about 20 different AAA titles, and I tried to keep this video somewhat short, so I'm only showing you guys about 2 or 3. But I jumped into like Tekken 7, I jumped into Halo Infinite, and it was a very good experience here. Every now and then, like I said, you'll see a little hiccup in the gameplay, but it's nothing that's going to ruin the experience by any means. So to have something this compact and this reliable that can play AAA titles at that 445 price point, I think it's pretty incredible at the end of the day. Let me know what you guys think in the comments of this video though. Did you like what you saw from the AOC AM16 Mini PC? Do you like the price point on here? Do you think it should be cheaper? Do you think it's fair where it is? Let me know. That's going to do it for today, though. I'm going to provide you guys with a link at the top of your screen for this mini PC so you guys can learn a little bit more about it, see what the current price point is and all that. I'll also provide the same link in the description of this video. So click over, get some additional information if you're interested, but let me know what you guys thought in the comments. That's going to do it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for supporting me here on the channel. If you enjoyed the content today, please give me a thumbs up on the video. It's a huge help here on YouTube. And of course, hit subscribe if you haven't already to stay in the loop for all future videos right here on the Retro Gaming Guy YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.